Time on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Let's welcome to the show. A year ago, he was the NFL's leading rusher, looking for more this year with his Colts team. Jonathan Taylor joins us now. Hello, Jonathan. How are you?
How are you, man? This is a pleasure to be on.
Right back at you. How does one raise the bar after having a spectacular, productive season as you did a year ago?
Really, it's just finding different areas in your game that past season where you felt like you excelled in, and being able to continue to work on that and to stay sharp in your craft, but then also really dissecting and doing some self-searching on what are some areas that I didn't excel in, some areas that I wish I could have been a bit better in, and then being able to build your off-season plan around that to really attack that and make that one of your strengths.
So Jonathan Taylor's with us. I saw you on the NFL Network either over the weekend or late last week, and you had mentioned how much you watch tape. And I know everybody watches tape, but you watch it apparently with more of a critical eye. You don't necessarily look for what you did at a high level. You look for what you need to take and match that particular high level. So with that in mind, what did you see a year ago that you absolutely know you need to improve upon that maybe we did not see?
Really just being able, what are you doing with the ball when the play breaks down? Everyone loves when a play is blocked perfectly. Everyone is on their assignment. But are you still able to stay patient and play smart football, know the down and distance, and being able to play great football when the play breaks down, when things aren't perfectly blocked the way the play is drawn up to be? So being able to stay calm, cool, collected, understand the situational football that we're in, being able to execute still at a high level. A lot of times I know the great backs are able to still execute rather than just say, the play broke down. So, that one was a messed up play.
Have you always been able to give yourself or look at yourself on tape with a very critical eye?
I definitely have, just because it's your resume. It's what you're putting on film. It's almost like when you go into a job interview and they say, hey, we took a look at your resume and we really enjoyed everything that we saw. In a sense, this is what you're putting on tape for your team, your teammates, your coaches, the front office. That's your resume. What are you doing on Sundays? What are you doing in practice? What are you putting on tape? So you always want to make sure you're putting your best foot forward.
So Jonathan Taylor's with us, too. The thing that I really admire about you, and you talked about getting your degree at Wisconsin in philosophy, and how you view that or how you implement that in your daily routine. And I mentioned routine because of this. You put together a kind of a list of things to do, right? I mean, you have a plan each and every day for yourself as a part of this career in football that you have, right?
Yes, it's always critical to have a plan. When you go to build a house, you never go in with a blind eye. You have a blueprint, an architect, and you build a plan together and you map it out before you even lay one piece of wood down, one piece of stone, whatever it may be. So you always want to go into anything that you're doing with a plan.
What was your plan today?
My plan today was to come in, make sure that I got all my preparation in. It was a bit of a lighter day. So all of my body work prep and being able to just really make sure I'm locked in for this lighter day we had. It may not be a physical day, but these are critical days. The mental prep, the mental aspect is a huge part of football. So whenever you get a chance to rest your body and not put as much strain on it, and you have a chance to stress your mental, it's actually almost really as important as a physical day. So making sure that I was locked in on anything that may have been, kind of on edge, making sure that I was secure with everything that we had going on today so that I'd be able to really attack the day today.
It's Jonathan Taylor, the Colts on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I'm going to knock on wood because I'm superstitious. You have been incredibly durable, not just so far here in Indy, but over your football playing career. What do you equate that to? What you were talking about here, is that a part of the routine? Your durability and production, is that because of your routine implementation day after day?
Really having a plan each and every single day on what to attack as far as body work wise. What can you do in order to, one, mitigate your injury risk as much as possible, and two, what are you doing to better yourself in a sense, whether that's making sure you have a more dorsiflexion, make sure your hips are more mobile. So all of these things play a part on making sure that your body is able to withstand the really force that you put on it each and every single day, every single week throughout this season. And I think it's imperative that guys are really staying in tune to that, because this is a physical game, and over time, not being able to stay in tune with your body, it's bound to break down.
So, Jonathan Taylor of the Colts on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Do you have a threshold? Like a year ago, obviously, you put up incredible numbers, over 1,800 yards rushing. Do you have a thought in your mind where you can get in a given season, and how many carries that you would need to get there?
Oh, you never know how many carries you're going to have each season. That's why it's imperative in the offseason to make sure that you are maximizing each and every single day that you have in the offseason to prepare for any kind of workload that you may get, whether it may be, JT, we need you to run for 400 yards this game, or JT, we need you to block this Mike linebacker 15 times this game, and we'll win the game. So no matter what your task is, you just need to make sure that you're preparing in the offseason each and every single day for any kind of workload you may get.
Do you have a perfect number of carries per game that you would like to see, that you think is just optimum for you in general? Is there a number?
Oh, well, if Coach comes to me and he says, JT, we'll give you one carry this game and we'll win the game, I'm all for it. Whatever it takes for us to win the game, that's what I'm willing and able to do for the team. He
is Jonathan Taylor of the Colts joining us. I'm assuming you probably noticed this because you look at the numbers and you're watching film, and we'll get into some of the other stuff you do as far as maintaining that level of durability in a second. But have you noticed the numbers with your new quarterback, Matt Ryan, what he has had over his career when he has had a good running game? Is that anything that you've talked about with your new quarterback?
Oh, I mean, Matt's amazing, and just the way he demands excellence from others, but himself as well. I mean, you guys should see how he's critical of himself. As we just mentioned, how I'm critical of myself when watching film. He's very critical of himself. So just being able to make sure that we're all on one page and on one accord, because Matt Ryan is just the kind of guy, he is on his P's and his Q's every time he steps on the field, every time he steps in the meeting room. And it makes you want to make sure you're at your best every single time. So being able to be by his side has been amazing. I've been able to learn so much from him as well with his experience. I mean, there's not much he hasn't seen. So just being able to be on one page with him has been awesome.
What'd you learn? What's the first thing? As far as his leadership quality, when was that apparent to you when you first met him?
Really, the first time was when he came into the building and I first met him. And of course, it's an honor, Matt Ryan, to meet you. It's a pleasure. I can't wait to get out there and work with you. And his first thing was, I can't wait to get better with you. It wasn't, I've already arrived. Yeah, I can't wait to work with you, JT. It was, I can't wait to get better with you. So he came in with a mindset of, I've been 16 plus years, but I still haven't arrived yet. So that's when I knew the kind of leader that he was. He's still growing and trying to learn to this day.
And I would imagine you guys as a team, you would know if there was some leadership being tossed out there that was a little bit forced. It sounded like from day number one he came in and he leads and everybody truly understood it and certainly bought into it immediately. And that doesn't always happen, I'm assuming, in the locker room like that.
No, Matt Ryan, you just feel that presence that he has, that energy, as I know that I'm here to work every single day. I know I'm your quarterback, and I know you guys are looking towards me to lead you guys, but we're going to do this together. I'm going to do the best that I can in everything that I've learned in my experience to help you guys, to help lead you guys, but I'm still learning as well. So when you have a guy like that, it's, man, I want to do everything I can to make sure that I'm at my best with this guy, because he's already way ahead of where I'm at, and he's still trying to learn. So that tells me that I have a long way to go. So that kind of leadership, when you're pulling and bringing guys with you, I mean, that's what you want in the locker room.
The league's leading rusher in 2021 is Jonathan Taylor of the Colts. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. You, I mentioned your durability, which is absolutely, again, knock on wood, amazing. You're somebody that you do a lot of work, not just physically with your body, but you do a lot of work, right, to understand your body. Pressure points, things that maybe others before you haven't done. If you wouldn't mind, I'd like you to maybe break into a little bit of how in tune you are with your body and just how much smarter you try to be with that in mind as you get older.
Oh, I'm super in tune to my body. Anytime you go into the training room, anytime you're working on your body, I love to learn all of the terminology as far as ligaments, muscles, trigger points, anything that I'm getting worked on, so that it's easier for me to communicate with my team, the training room, to say, hey, I think this is what's going on, rather than going in and, a lot of guys do the basic, I'm kind of feeling, this area right here. This is what it feels like a little bit. But rather than that, I can go in and say, hey, I believe it's this muscle right here, or I believe it's this ligament, but, can you take a check? This is what I'm feeling. So now we're able to be more efficient with our time, and we're able to get a lot more done. So I just feel like if guys are able to really be in tune with their body, they can be a lot more efficient with their time when they're making sure their bodies are in tune.
And running backs get beat up. Obviously we had one here in the latter portion of his career in Frank Gore that went on and on and on. But running backs like that have that longevity are few and far between. You think that the work that you're doing right now to understand, especially the soft tissue situation in your body, can lead to that longevity that not a lot of running backs, and at least in the last 10 years of recent history, have had?
I would hope so. That's the goal. So I'm going to continue to stay on this plan, and hopefully that's where it leads.
It's Jonathan Taylor with us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. How long did the end of the season fade with this team during the regular season hang with you in the offseason?
I just believe it stayed with everybody throughout the offseason as a reminder, not as, thinking about it vividly day in and day out, but as a small reminder in your back of your head to, hey, let's make sure I'm doing everything I can to maximize this day. Yeah. Everything that I can, so when the time comes, I'm able to execute, no matter the situation, no matter where we're at, no matter who we're playing, what we're doing. I'm able to execute because I've banked that work in the off season. I know I have, and I know I'm ready and up for the task.
Well, the numbers you put up were eye-popping, incredible. But, yeah, as you mentioned over and over again, this is a team thing for you, too. Is there a part of you that wants to keep that memory of what took place at the end of the season and use that as a motivational edge for the future, not just this year, but years down the road?
You always want to keep that chip on your shoulder, and you always want to make sure that you're able to stay focused each and every single season, each and every single off season. So just being able to keep that feeling that you had, that feeling of going back on the bus, getting back on the plane, going home, how you felt, you never want to feel that feeling again. So when you're trying to stay away from that feeling, you'll be able to push yourself that much more in the off season to do everything you can to make sure that you never feel that feeling again.
All right. So how's 21 looking as a wide receiver?
Naheem has always been an explosive player. He's always been a playmaker anytime he has the ball in his hands. So being able to just watch him go to work, out in the backfield, out at slot, it's just been amazing to see how he can make plays from anywhere on the field.
I think about it in terms of this. I know you guys need rest. There's no question. But I want you and 21 on the field as much as possible. Because even if you're not going to get the ball, you being out there is the threat that I would always want out there, without question. The defense goes, all right, well, this may be going this direction here. It seems like that you guys would want to be on the field. It'd be best beneficial for your offense as much as you guys could be on the field together. Do you look at it that way?
Oh, me and Naheem love being on the field at the same time. We bring juice to each other. He actually charges me up, so I love being on the field with Naheem. Sometimes I got to catch myself because sometimes he gets the ball and I end up watching him rather than, rustling down to go make sure that he's okay, because I'm just like, man, this guy's incredible.
All right, Jonathan, before I let you go, are you at all allowing yourself to eyeball the 2,000-yard mark?
You can have the 2,000-yard mark, and you can still not get to where you want to be at the end of the year. So anything that I can do to help this team win as many games as possible and get to where we want to be at the end of the year is my first and foremost goal.
Yeah. Well, everybody would want to hear that. There's no doubt about it. No doubt. And camp going well for you to this point, I'm assuming, in closing here. You're feeling good, and I'm assuming you're feeling the love from the fan base because that place has been packed every time you've been out there.
Camp has been well. The fans have been electric. It's awesome to kind of have a normal camp now finally. So I'm super excited, and I can't wait to finish camp out and make sure that the team is getting better each and every single day.
All right. Hey, it's always a pleasure to talk with you. You are a fantastic dude, and I know a lot of people are rooting for you, certainly around here. And stay durable, stay productive, and we'll talk at you at some point during, I don't know, middle of the season or later on in the season, and hopefully you're doing what you always do, man. I appreciate your time.
No, thank you very much.
It's Jonathan Taylor of the Colts right there on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Yeah, he'd like to get to 2. That'd be great. But he's right, because when I bring up, do you want to get to 2,000? When I bring up, what would be the perfect amount of care? What do you need? He brings up in terms of team, but he brings up the focus on what? On balance. And that's something we have talked about over and over again. And it was important when I asked him about Matt Ryan and his past with the Falcons, how good he has been when he's had a significant running game. He has that this year.
When he gave that answer about the team, it reminded me of when we had him on the Monday after his run versus the Patriots, and he told you, when he was looking back, he was looking at the sideline, saying, hey, should I go down?
Yes.
He was willing to go down and give up that touchdown, an extra 40 yards he took, because if that's what it takes for the team to win, that's what he's going to do.
Let me tell you this. As a person, too, and I know we often get caught up in saying, hey, that guy's a great dude. That's a great dude. What a great person. Legitimately, without any argument whatsoever, that is a great dude right there. He is a great dude. If you missed it, 1075thefan.com via podcast. Jonathan Taylor of the Colts. 1,800-plus yards a year ago.